What's going on, everybody? We just got done working out, and today's topic we're going to talk about how to separate yourself. And really, to expand on separating oneself, we want to talk about separating oneself to make them more successful.
Exactly, and there is a ton of ways. That is why we've labeled this "How to Separate Yourself" Part 1. Because we're going to touch on this a lot in the future as well, but it was just something that we just got done working out, and it just really clicked with us. It's like that with us often. That's why we promote working out so much, because so much clarity, so much creativity comes from working out.
It's kind of funny Jordan mentioned that, because we actually had an idea of what we were going to talk about already, but after a couple rounds of our workout, we were like, no, this is what we need to talk about right now.
And I wish we would have had Matthew, our camera guy, with us, because to actually get it live, because we kind of went off for 10 minutes on this subject, and it was really cool. It was just raw, so I hope we can somewhat replicate that. That's hard because you're in the moment like that, and it's just so true and passionate. And so this big topic that we talk about, and that we're just such a believer in, we're definitely not the first to talk about this by any means. It's very much talked about, but maybe hearing it from us today is something that clicks in your head and is what you needed to hear.
Yeah, so I think the big thing that we want to go over is one way, again, this is part 1, so one way of separating yourself from other people is separating the negativity. Like Jordan said, we're not the first to talk about negativity. We're not here to try to be like, some magical advice about negativity, but we feel that there are people out there that could get a lot of benefit from this, because you could be around negative people right now and you don't know it. You know what I mean?
You don't even know.
And because you don't know, you're sitting there maybe not happy with where you're currently at in life.
And you're being negative yourself.
Exactly, because you're around that, but you don't notice it. And it might even be hard. It might be family. And it's hard to pick out if family has negativity, because it's your family.
It's your family, man.
Yeah.
But they're a hard subject to talk about.
It is a very sensitive subject to talk about.
One of the things that really brought it to my light was 3 or 4 years ago. And it's a super cheesy book, but that's okay, because dude, life is about being happy, and it's okay with being a cornball and a cheese ball.
Yeah, sometimes it's needed.
Is the energy bus really helped it started that process of thinking for me. And they use the term eliminating energy vampires in your life.
Yep.
And it's a great term, and I think it goes so much farther than that and way more intense than what that book talks. But it was a great thing to just kind of get our minds rolling. And I know we read it at the same time.
We did.
And it was just that, it was a great thing that, you start realizing, you're looking around like, oh dude, this person totally is an energy vampire in my life. It also makes you stop and think and be like, am I being an energy vampire to somebody else's life? And
to give some real life experience, like Jordan and I have had that both happen to us, where we might be working out and one of us is just not feeling it, because we may have been, because we don't see each other every day. It's like every other week, to be honest with you. But like, maybe one of us is feeling kind of negative. We call each other out on it all the time and say like, what's your deal? Like, why are you being like this? And so since we read that book together, we can both sit there and say like, why are you being a vampire today? Like, what's your deal?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of one of those things where like, oh yeah, they're really, most times I don't have an answer for him. I don't think he's got one for me. We're just kind of like,
it probably wakes you up.
It does, because we probably at some point have been exposed to some negative people, or we've let an external source, affect us negatively, that it's just kind of like, we need to sit and call ourselves out at times as well.
Right.
Because again, we're not perfect and we're not trying to be. So it just goes with recognizing, step 1 to this process, recognizing.
Are you around people that are super negative and have poor energy? And are you being that way, or are you just being that way because of the people you're around?
Yes. Yeah.
And so it always goes back to the self-awareness thing we talked about all the way back in like our early podcast 5 months ago, and we have talked about it probably every single podcast, because it's such an important factor. And so, Austin, what is one way that you think you can start moving in a positive direction and getting away from negative energy vampires, cancerous energy, whatever you want to call it, all these terms? How do you get away from the crap?
I've got a really good one. It's recognizing hidden negativity. I'll go with that. And what I mean by that is, are you around a group of people that they may seem happy, they may seem content, but what's coming out of their mouth and what's being expressed is actually negative? So I'll give you an example. You might be with a group of friends and you're talking about everyday life, and this person is just nothing good is coming out. It's just, but they're laughing about it. It's almost like they have just accepted the fact, like, well, I overslept the alarm, or I woke up and stubbed my toe, and then this happened, and then that happened. Oh, it's just a typical day for me. Things like that, where it's like, it's just they've accepted that, and you're around it. So recognizing, because I feel like sometimes when we talk about it,
it's like Newton law is like,
yeah,
it's just, it's supposed to happen to me.
Yeah, this is supposed to happen, and so I think recognizing that. And how to recognize that is listen into the conversations that are being said around you, listen or look for the actions that are being displayed around you, and being honest, even if it is a close one or a loved one. And just, if a close one or a loved one is being negative, that might be time to open up the conversation, because maybe no one's reached out to them and asked why. And then
have that difficult conversation.
Because if you care about that person, then you need to know that their energy is affecting your energy. Your energy is going to be affected, and you only get one life, so why waste it being negative and angry all the time? To me, there's no positive outcome of that. So if you truly care about someone, reach out to them, if you feel like that person is. But going back to what Jordan asked about the point, recognize. I think people have seen enough of our podcasts and listened in, where I'm a big believer of just writing things down. And I'm not saying it's got to be pen and paper. You can put it in your phone or whatever, but like, when you're around people, if you're not feeling great, put down why you're not feeling great. Did you just come out of a...
Record your feelings.
Yeah.
Record those times with certain people, and you're going to figure it out really quick.
Yeah.
Who'd be around, who'd not be
exactly. Around. And that goes back to a podcast we talked to recently about just kind of like deloading things and taking a step back and assessing life and stuff like that. So I think that kind of applies at this point. So I think step one, or collecting enough data of if you're feeling crappy, or if you're seeing that, or you notice people around you are not happy, is that energy affecting you? So what would you say would be another step for people?
Dude, honestly, like, being very blunt, is you have to take action and absolutely just cut the crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, if you truly care about yourself, and you have ambitions, and you have goals, and you have dreams, and you feel like you're not making progress to get there, and you don't know why, like, take a look at those people around you. Because the old adage that is like super corny, that is, you are what the makeup of the 3 or 5 people around you, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, as dumb as that sounds, as much as you hear it, it's true. And so you have to start figuring out and take action onto why you're not progressing. Is it because of the negative people around you? You better start taking action and finding people that get the best out of you, and you get the best out of them. Like, find people that are slightly better than you and put yourself with them.
Yeah.
Quit being afraid to do it and just take action and do it. Doesn't mean you have to not be friends with people. It just means that you're not as close as friends, and you're not going to hang out with them as much.
Right.
You can still talk to them occasionally. You can still have them on Facebook, whatever. I've had it happen to myself where I've had to I'm still friends with them. I literally do not text them anymore.
Yeah.
I do not hang out with them anymore. Do I comment on their Facebook when they kill a nice deer? Yeah, that's cool. I'm still going to be a friendly, cordial person.
Yep.
I am not going to hang out with them because they bring out the worst in me.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I've just recognized these certain people. So start taking action, because if you're sitting around and complaining that you're not getting where you want to be in life, and you're complaining to somebody about it, most likely they're a negative person, because they're allowing you to sit there and complain about it to them.
Right.
And so you're just surrounding yourself with other crappy negative people that are bringing out the worst in each other. Cut that out and start getting around people that won't allow that. Like, yeah, maybe you have your vent few seconds to be honest and do it a little bit here and there just to get stuff off our chest, but it's always a rebuilding positivity back and forth with each other and what we have to do to progress.
And we
don't allow each other.
We call each other out on it.
We don't allow it.
It's not like we just sit there. Okay,
yeah, dude,
just,
that sucks, man. I agree with you. It's like, dude,
not
no,
that at all.
like a lot of times we call each other out. I'm like, dude, no, like, maybe it's happening because of this. Maybe you need to have a little bit more sympathy or empathy for that person and get over it.
And that's kind of, when you surround yourself with other people, is they're gonna make that, more of a constructive thing, not just a, I didn't know the right word for it at this point, but just, there's gonna be constructive things that come out of that conversation. It's not gonna just be a complaint fest.
It's a building process. We call each other out on it in a productive way, and we don't get butthurt at each other about it.
Right, yeah.
It's one of those things, we respect each other's opinions enough that we might not agree on everything, but it's okay, and that what we're going to tell the other person is what I think is going to be best for Austin. What he tells me is what he thinks is going to be best for me. Because
and there's
he
times
has
where we won't maybe agree with that, but
No.
it's good because we have to hear it. And when we hear it, we see where other people could be coming from.
Yes, but we always have each other's best interest at heart. I'm never going to suggest something to Austin that I don't feel is right for him or the people around him.
Right.
You know what I mean? As I will call him out if I'm like, dude, that could be detrimental to your people around you, your clients, people who follow your podcast, whatever it is. And so, that step 2 is just literally taking action on the crap and getting away from it.
And I think step 2 is going to be a lot harder for people than step 1 because step 1, with all the information that's out there, even with what we're recording right now, I mean, there's enough stuff where people should be able to identify if you're around negative people. And if it's
I think you're going to know really quick, those 2 or 3 people, maybe 5 people.
Applying it is hard because I agree with what you said earlier. I mean, like when you start not hanging out, because we said that, sometimes family can, implement this, it can be, whatever, a family member. And, it hurts because you don't want to not hang around your family. But like George said, you can still talk and associate with your family, but you might need to go find a group of people that are going to lift you up first, because then again, it might help build you up to go back to that family member. Maybe now you can help that family member and just say, hey, like, what's going on? Like,
that's the thing you need to realize is like, it's hard. I've had to cut out a few friends the last year, and I'll tell you, like, I've never been happier, more productive because I did it. It doesn't mean that I don't have a plan at some point, or my message at some point hopefully can reach them and turn them around.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it's helped me turn myself around, and so I'm hoping that it happens the same to them. It doesn't mean you might not be friends and close friends with them again in the future.
And I think that's step number 3 is when you, it's funny, we talked about this too, when you audit yourself. And
Episode 1.
Yep, and when you audit yourself and the people around you and you find out that they're negative, step 2, you take action, even though step 2 is probably going to be the hardest.
It's going to be so difficult.
It's gonna be,
just do it.
Do it. Because you have one life, so why would you live that life being negative and upset? Like, when you live life, you should want to live life to do something that betters yourself, to improve your quality of life. Health, like workout, nutrition, like we do those things to improve our overall quality of life. So why are we not doing that mentally as well?
Why are you wasting it? You're gonna have so much regret.
Right.
Like, dude, I literally just had that thought process the other night laying in bed, like had an argument with my wife and didn't just apologize, wasted 3 hours of an evening instead of just like hanging out with each other like we always do and having fun, wasted 3 hours being stubborn baby.
Right.
And I'm like laying there, I'm like, dude, I totally regret acting that way because instead of just apologizing, sucking it up, and enjoying our time together, I wasted 3 hours. That's an evening with my wife. Like, what if she died? What if a semi hit me? Or what if a semi hit her the next day?
Yep.
Like, dude, super regret forever. Like, it's just getting that mindset flipped around and flipping that script for yourself to turn your mindset around and live. Make sure you don't have regret. Do what you want. Take action on the things you want and live a great life. Live a life beyond the linear confines of average like you actually want to do, because you do. Especially if you're listening to this, you definitely do. You're listening because you're trying to find something to help motivate you, inspire you, take action for yourself. You have to just go do it.
Yeah, get rid of those energy drainers. And I think step number 3, I think with this is when you go through steps 1 and 2, pay that stuff forward, because the world needs more positive stuff. We live in a world where negativity spreads, and it's like the hot thing in every caption and post and all that stuff. And so it's kind of like, if you're able to figure it out for you, then go reach out, like George said, go reach back out to those people that you were around and see if you can kind of help give them some advice and figure out, because it's just a domino effect. You do that for one, maybe one does it for another. We just need more positivity in this world. So, I mean,
100% agree.
Yeah.
So the 3 steps: start separating yourself.
Step 1, recognizing, audit yourself, audit the people around you. Are they helping you or hurting you?
Yep. Step 2, hardest one, take action on it. Go do it. Get it done. Step 3,
pay it forward.
Pay it forward. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you love this, share it with somebody. Let it help somebody else. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.